WrestleFriends! WrestleFriends podcast!
Welcome to the WrestleFriends podcast. I'm Dave, and I'm sat with Mark.
Hi, this is exciting.
What wasn't planned? This was it?
Yeah, because I think if we had done where WrestleMania predictions and then WrestleThoughts, it would have lasted 2 hours, and nobody wants to listen to 2 hours. But if you say you're out and about for the day, you can listen to the first hour WrestleMania predictions. Oh, hang on, another little podcast just popped up at the same time. We'll listen to that one. But
wonderful.
Because you could have your dinner and then listen to it later on.
That was a bad impression of Hardy, wasn't it? I can't do a very good Woken Hardy impression, can you?
Hang on a second.
Wonderful. No. I do a good Conor Craggs.
Prepare
once.
The compound for combat. Rubbish. We're the worst Woken Matt Hardys in the world.
Shall I try and do Conor Craggs? Oh, you don't know who Conor Craggs is, anyone listening, but he's a funny guy.
Yeah, hopefully you will do soon.
Yeah, can I do it? It's gone.
How are my lads?
How are my lads?
Anyway,
yeah.
Should we get bang into this?
Band dumps
into this. Do you want to start or shall I start?
Do you want me to start for a changey mangey?
Yeah, you start. Let's throw the rule book out the window.
Two crazy cats. So I watched DC3 in his last Impact thingy promo, where he lost the briefcase thingy.
It was the Feast of Fired, wasn't it?
I've not been watching much Impact. I'll not be honest. I will be honest with you, but it's caught my eye lately because of a couple of things that's going on. It's got a little bit more interesting, so I've started watching it a little bit more.
They've been selling more tickets to live shows because they've been playing sensible venues.
They're doing I would go as far to say, right?
Have they moved to Canada?
I don't know. I think they might have. I don't know. It's a lot better though than it was. And I watched DC3 and the Feast and Famine thing. He done a really funny promo where he had to leave, obviously. And then I watched his first NXT promo. Have you seen this?
I have. It was good.
And obviously I know who EC3 is, and I've watched him in the past and stuff. And like I say, I dip in and out of Impact, when it's interesting. When it's not interesting, which is most of the time, I just don't watch it. But I really like him. I think he's got a good mix of snotty sort of heel, got there because of Dixie Carter sort of thing. He likes to flash his name around a bit. And then you've got, but he mixes it in well with humour.
Yeah.
So when he opened the briefcase that was fired, he was just frozen for ages, which I thought was quite funny. And then he just went, "Nah, it's not my case."
He was really funny as Derek Bateman in his first run on NXT when he was a bit more bland.
See, I didn't see any of that.
So he's the perp, but he's done it, and it's more and more the way that it's happening. So you've got Drew McIntyre, you've got Cody, you've got EC3. NXT released from NXT, didn't make the main roster, went somewhere, honed his craft, became a name. Oh, hang on. There's a ready-made star.
He's a big... I think he could have debuted on the main roster, him.
Same as, not quite as big as, but AJ.
Yeah.
He could have said the same about Bobby Roode.
Yeah, he could have. But I think he could be...
That year in NXT, or 6 months for Bobby Roode was really good.
That is a void that I think... When Bobby Roode left, that EC3 can just slot into really nicely.
Yeah.
Smartly dressed guy, heel. He's obviously going to be heel after watching the first promo with him.
The way a champion should be.
And I really, really enjoyed that. So I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with him.
Even with the entrances, how Bobby Roode did the thing where he turned around and held out his arm and they're and his arms.
He's doing the EC.
Yeah, and it comes up and the letters come up. They're just calling him EC3. I don't think they're making reference to the fact he's Ethan Carter.
That might come though.
But that might come, and that
What if Dixie Carter's the new SmackDown general manager?
They'll not.
Do you not reckon?
They'll not.
Well, you said that about Bischoff.
Said that about Bischoff, said that about Heyman, so
It's
I suppose.
not going to... It surely can't be Hogan. They're not going to bring Hogan back yet.
Is she still a legitimate businesswoman in some... a family are like...
I don't know.
Like millionaires, aren't they?
She's rich, yeah. They're a rich family.
So she could just do it purely from an artistic standpoint, like, oh, I enjoy doing that.
Yeah, it should just
Fans
be,
are going to know who she is.
should just be employed by WWE.
Could do it in a sort of Vicky Guerrero sort of way.
She's
And then when you bring, and then you could have nepotism when he gets called.
Write this down. She is Dave Connor's pick for next SmackDown general manager. Who's yours?
Would it not make sense for them? Or could you have Could you have a? Could you make the next SmackDown have a year of her like being manager and then bring EC3 up as like then start so.
He could be like Golden Boy, you know.
You could have her. You could have her. What's the word I'm looking for? When you start something and you have to get in there and have a name. She could be established as a heel before, while he's on NXT.
So you know how they've done Vicky Guerrero Edge.
Yeah.
They could do that, but in a niece and nephew, like
Rather
obviously not like a partner sort of.
I was going to think
like,
you were suggesting
I'm not suggesting some sort of like
weird incest.
Yeah, what I'm suggesting is that he's like Golden Boy because of like he's related, which I think would also be really good.
Based on the debut, I know we're not even getting a chance to look at NXT, but I think we'll probably do a whole episode of the podcast about Takeover later.
Yeah, well, I think what we need to do is we need to watch.
Right, so
we're gonna have the party.
So guys, this is the way it's gonna go. We're gonna release this and the prediction. Then we're gonna have the party. We're gonna do loads of stuff at the party, and then when all the dust's settled, all the smoke's cleared,
we'll revisit NXT Takeover and then do an episode on that.
At NXT Takeover, I'm probably gonna watch like slightly hungover the next day later on.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
That is exciting.
So don't think we forgot about Takeover because obviously NXT important.
Really important in many respects.
I'm probably more excited for the actual matches because WrestleMania has the spectacle, but the actual matches.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you about that match, but we'll just leave it.
We could do quick predictions. For
I think
NXT.
I would, based on that promo, I'd like EC3 to be the first North American. I love all the other guys in the match, and obviously, but I think.
I don't care who it is. If anyone
all of them.
I don't care who it is. Like I honestly do not care.
That's what an amazing position to be in. All of them would be worthy champions.
I honestly don't care. And I was talking to Jake about it yesterday. He asked who I would like to win that match, and I said I will not be disappointed about if any of them win it. I
know. You know what? That's
is that the most exciting match of the weekend
for me? Yeah, that shows.
Well.
That shows
Gargano.
Ciampa,
non-sanctioned match. That could be good.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. But I think that like that match proves how good the booking in NXT is.
Yep.
Because excited about everyone.
Yeah. What else is on the card? Just whilst we're talking about it briefly. Tag team under Taz.
The end of the Dusty Classic. Without Fish, so I don't know how they're going to do that.
That's going to work.
And they're going to have a triple threat, but I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe they're just going to relinquish the belt and it's going to be done Strong versus Authors of Pain.
Nice.
But then that makes us think that Dunn and Strong are going to win. Strong's never had a belt in NXT, so it would be exciting. I think they would do that. He hasn't gone full 205 after he's been kicked out.
I think Dunn's going to turn on me. Eventually.
That's what we want to happen. Because this old face done thing is not.
It's not working for me.
Let's
go back to my thoughts so we can quickly rattle through them because we want this to be like a nice chunk of an episode.
A little chunk.
So I watched that episode of Impact, right? And there was a Monsters Ball match on it.
Kongo
Kong and his massive moves versus
he does have moves.
versus Abyss, who's been doing his what's his face?
James Mitchell's been back.
No, what's he called again? Parks.
Joseph Parks.
Joseph Parks. He's been doing
best
that.
mint gimmick.
So he's been doing that for a while. So he does this split personality thing, and Abyss has finally been brought out for this Monsters Ball match.
It's like the faces of Foley, really, isn't it?
Impact, right? They can do hardcore still. Like there was still blood and stuff in it.
Separates you in terms of like getting the viewership, it separates you from.
And it wasn't
WWE.
like you're full on. It wasn't like deathmatch. You know what I mean?
Just
but
a
it
few
was
taps
like
in the chair and
yeah,
the
yeah.
table.
And it goes a long way.
Was it like the kind of passing of the torch of the monsters kind of thing?
You would think so. Abyss is looking a bit old now. Even like though he wears a mask and like you can't see any of him, you can tell the way he moves around the ring. He's getting a bit caney. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. So Abyss is the new monster. He won the Monsters Ball match, which is Abyss's
Abyss
match.
won it or Kongo?
Kongo Khan.
Who is he aligned with?
He's aligned with this little fella who speaks for him. I don't know his name. He's got sort of like emo hair. I don't know who he is.
Is it not Jimmy Jacobs?
I don't know.
It is.
I don't
It's
know.
Jimmy Jacobs.
I don't know who it is.
Jimmy Jacobs it is.
Things I'm enjoying about Impact at the minute, right? So you've got
Things I'm enjoying about Impact.
things I'm enjoying about Impact, right? They're doing a little. It's a little bit more edgy than WWE, because
Not like too much.
Yeah, but not too
not
much.
like deathmatch.
You haven't
but
got the
like
big
nicer.
names like WWE, but they're starting to get them back in. So you've got Austin Aries, you've got I know I don't like him, but Alberto Del Rio, I don't.
They've been building Callihan well.
Callihan, right? That's another thing I want to talk about in a bit. But they're building Kongo Kong, so they've got that monster, you know what I mean? Who's got glorious moves. They've got they've obviously got Johnny Nitro in. He's a big name. So they are losing names like Bobby Lashley, but they're also bringing big names in. And Austin Aries is so good. The way he carries all them belts around with him,
Yeah,
and he's
I
got
love
another
that
one
gimmick.
now.
I love that gimmick.
He's got the Grand Championship belt now, which I thought they were retiring.
They're probably gonna retire it.
Do you think
It's
they're
just
gonna merge
it's
them?
another belt for him to carry.
He carries about 10 belts around with him.
It's got to be good, a little bit of free advertisement for Defiant. Have their belt flashed up every week on Impact.
What's he called again? You know that little cruiserweight guy, the X Division champion. Used to be in WWE. He's called something different now though.
Matt Sydal.
Matt Sydal, I quite enjoy him. He's quite a cool dude. I think there's actually enough things on there to keep me engaged.
I think
I do fast forward quite a lot of it, but like there is enough there to keep me interested. You know what I mean? For like
from the sounds of it, the new owners are a lot more level-headed than
it is him that I told you it was.
Billy Corgan. I'm sure.
No, man, not Billy Corgan. It's Thingy who does the commentary on New Japan.
Cyrus.
No.
Yeah,
With
Cyrus.
Kevin Kelly.
Yeah. Can't remember his proper name, but Cyrus was these. Like,
Yeah, that was his name, but
Yeah.
like
I can't remember.
I can't remember his real name, but it is him that's
Cool.
doing it.
Sensible people.
4-sided ring works for me better. Don't like the 6-sided ring.
Seemed more organisation going on, more coherent storylines.
Yeah, I also like Eli Drake. I think he's hilarious.
Do you not think he just sounds like The Rock when he talks?
Yeah, but I think he's funny. Like he's a complete coconut and get behind that. I would quite like to see him in NXT.
It'll happen eventually.
I think he'd be quite good in
It'll
NXT.
happen eventually.
I've wrote a lot about Kongo Kong's moves because they stood out to us.
Kongo Kong's moobs.
I wanted
That's
to
the title of this episode.
talk about moves in wrestling in general. Because I also, when we were at Defiant the other day, noticed that Walter had quite big moves as well.
Walter's like.
But his is like nothing compared to Kongo Kong's moves. Like he's got full on like saggy moves. So I don't know. You could get like I don't know.
He's a bit like, I know I've talked about Kamala before when he nearly died, or he might be dead with his diabetes and lost his leg and that. But like he's kind of like a new nowadays Kamala, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. The Sami Callihan Eddie Edwards thing's really good as well. It's heating up really
A really good example of how to turn an accident into a storyline.
Yeah. And
Put
everyone's
someone over.
been hating on him for it, and he was
He's
on
been
Chris
playing up-
Jericho's podcast. Did you hear that?
I haven't. I've got it to listen to actually on my phone.
I don't know. There seemed at points where Chris Jericho even felt quite uncomfortable.
What I think Callihan's doing so well is he's keeping kayfabe alive and well.
Yeah.
So it's all like everything he does, and it's so easy with social media. Everything he does is like in character.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna do great things for Impact as well, because that's for me has been the biggest draw to watching Impact since Broken Matt. this all happening. It's the reason why I went and watched it in the first place, because I wanted to see Eddie Edwards get hit with a baseball bat, which is actually really uncomfortable viewing if you've watched it. But they've used it really well, and now Callihan's been like running around trying to kidnap his wife and stuff like that. And they've done the whole Joker thing, you know, where he's dressed as like a mate. You know, when the Joker comes out of the hospital on Dark Knight, it was a bit like that, but like he was dressed as like a maid in the hotel, which was quite funny.
He's got it's a faction as well. He's got OVE, he's got cronies.
So that's really good as well. If you haven't watched any of that, I would suggest you look back on it.
I shall.
Right, so WWE are doing the greatest Royal Rumble ever, which I'm not really sure what's this all about.
Are they going to put it on the network?
I think so.
I hope so.
I would hope so, but like I'm wondering...
Isn't it like 40 people or 50 people or something?
Something like that, and there's some matches such as Triple H versus John Cena that's going to be on. The Hardys are down to wrestle the Bar.
Have they ever done a show in Saudi Arabia before? Is that why
I've got no idea.
Is that where it is?
But I'm a bit confused as to what the point in it is. Like, why are we having another Royal Rumble? Is the winner of the Royal Rumble going to get a title shot at maybe SummerSlam or something like that? I don't know.
But they don't normally mix in house show stuff with...
I think it's going to be on the network.
Anything extra. I really enjoyed when they did the Beast from the East.
Yeah.
You know what was good about that? They mixed like NXT was the main event with like WWE stuff, and they had like people who are big in Japan like Neville and Jericho wrestling.
Yeah, they had Balor versus Owens, didn't they? On that.
So if they do it, it's exciting.
I hope it is on the network, because I love it when they do stuff like that.
Me too.
So Undertaker's down to do it. So there's loads of these big names, but I don't know what the point is.
Maybe he's the Prince of Saudi Arabia, gave them like loads of money to do it.
Maybe he's. A lot of me wrestle thoughts this week. Most of the stuff I've been thinking about is about WrestleMania and stuff like that, but mostly Access. I really want to go to Access. Like, if I went to WrestleMania, that's one of the things I'd want to do more than anything. Like, there's so much going on, like, wrestling-wise, and it's not just WWE. Like, it's like there's loads of other little things going on. You know, like there's Ring of Honor shows. There's
Progress shows.
It's all going on in New Orleans. I'd love to just be there to wander around and just go to like wrestling stuff.
All the shows
and all the like podcast recordings and stuff like that, and like. And Access just looks like
I could make us an itinerary.
Like you could make a list of things to do, and like Access it's like Comic-Con for wrestling fans. It's like, can you imagine being there? It would be so cool. Like just wandering around, and they've got the shows on. They're doing like mixed shows with Progress and stuff like that.
Well, they're doing a United Kingdom Championship. Over the 3 days, they're doing a United Kingdom Championship tournament. The winner gets to wrestle Pete Dunne. They're doing an NXT title tournament, and they're doing a NXT tag team title tournament. All at Access.
And Walter Moobs is fighting Cassius Ohno, which is going to be an absolute beast. So I'd like to see some of that on the network as well. They never put it on the network. It's really annoying.
It is annoying. So people who are wrestling, Zach Gibson of the Grizzled Young Vets is wrestling. Walter's wrestling.
Jimmy Havoc wrestled
last year. It's like a way for them to run the rule over. I mean, they've been looking at Walter all year. I think it's to run the rule over him.
I wonder if David Starr
might get the chance.
If he's fit, he's injured, isn't he?
No, I think the reason that he got that niggle in that match with Walter, the reason that he hasn't been wrestling is to be because they're probably going to make the most money out the year over that weekend. Some cool shows, 2 Progress shows. I want to watch both of them. Will Ospreay is going to be wrestling for Progress in New Orleans.
And like I say, over the weekend you've got, obviously there's loads of sort of like meet and greets and stuff like that. There's stuff, but Super Card of Honor's on the Saturday night as well. So you've got like, I've wrote a few matches down.
Is that in New Orleans as well?
I think so. You've got Briscoes versus Jay Lethal and Tanahashi. That'll be good. That's for the tag team championships. You got Hangman Page versus Ibushi, which will be mint.
That'll be good.
You've got Dalton Castle versus Marty Scurll for the Ring of Honor Championship.
That'd be good.
And you've got Cody versus Omega, which will also be good. I think it might be worth watching that.
When am I going to fit all these shows?
I don't know. That's the thing. Also, I've been thinking that I really like the Progress T-shirt, but I'm not sure whether I can buy one or not because I've never watched any Progress yet. Do you think it's cool to buy a T-shirt if you've never watched the
You
thing?
have the intention to, and I think we're probably going to go to a Progress show this year. So
it's a cool T-shirt.
Which one?
You know, the one with the logo in the middle, and then on the back it's got all the writing, the punk rock wrestling thing on the back of it.
I quite like the hoodie.
Yeah.
There's a hoodie of it, but there's many monies.
And my last thought is I just want to plug Primate's gym because he's got things for sale as well, and I might buy one of them T-shirts as well.
Yeah. Shall we talk about Primate now?
Do you want to talk about Primate? Have you got Primate? Because I thought you might have you got a rundown of...
I've got a rundown of Defiant. We'll talk about that in a second. So we went to Defiant, and the last segment, which I can't talk about because Defiant themselves have put out literature about it, is that unfortunately the Primates had to retire because or have an indefinite like a long-term layoff because he fractured his jaw, didn't get looked at for a while, and then it turns out that like his jaw is basically like in two pieces, and they've had to like put it together with pins and stuff, and it's going to be like super weak, so he's had to retire.
It's a shame. He's one of the first guys. You know, we've got lots of photos on the WrestleFriends page. He's one of the first guys I got a photo with.
He was the 38. That Chikara show, that was the first thing that we went to together. Jake went and got a photo with him. That was, I didn't realise it, but he had only been wrestling for 4 years, so that must have been one of his early shows.
I feel really bad for him. It was quite an emotional farewell, wasn't it? But he's setting up a gym, and it's given us a chance to maybe go to his gym, and that would be cool.
We are going to go to Primate's gym.
I want to go to Primate's gym, and I want to learn how to be a wrestler.
We are going to Primate's gym. Me from a observational standpoint, and you're going to do something.
I think you should do something.
It will hurt me really badly. You're more of a...
But I don't think you'd get hurt. Like,
do you think as big wrestling fans we should at least do a short course if they offer such a thing, just so we can talk about it?
Yeah. And
not because neither we're going to be wrestlers, because
and I think like if
we don't have time.
In your first like sort of like in your first session, you're probably just going to be throwing yourself on your back and stuff like that.
Do you know what makes me think, right? I'm not saying in any way, shape or form I'm going to be a wrestler, but you know how I've been really enjoying the work of Spike Trevay recently. Do you know how long he's been wrestling?
No.
18 months.
Really?
And he's like one of the most up and coming wrestlers in Britain at the moment. 18 months, and that makes us think, do you know how old he is? 26. When I'm not a lot older than that.
So do you think if I go to Primate's gym, he could whip us into shape and I could be England's hardest man?
The way I look at it is, if you do a bit of wrestling training, who knows? We might think I could continue with this.
Maybe.
But then I think a lot of people who do it are in a position where they can just put all of their time in. But it would be interesting to do a little short course just to see what it's like.
I would like to do it. My wife doesn't want us to do it. She's scared I'm going to get hurt, but I'm still going to do it anyway.
Would you do it even if I didn't do
it? Probably. Why wouldn't you do it though? This is an opportunity.
Fear?
This is
fear?
Well, I'm scared, but fear's sort of good, isn't it? You've got to do it.
Do you reckon you know that first bump that you take in the ring, whether you can continue?
I've got quite a high pain threshold, I think. I got a tattoo once.
We shall see.
What if I give myself whiplash though? Because like, you throw yourself back like that and you might hurt your neck.
I think that's the whole point, is that you're taught
not to hurt your neck.
Not to hurt your neck.
It's gonna be good. It's not really built yet though. It's just like it's just like a shell at the minute. I think
we should follow it, cover it, enjoy it. We should go and see it. We should. Like, I don't mean go and see it, just hang around outside like little
wrestling
gimps.
Schools are already built, you know. I'm sure.
I know, but this one, like, I think it kind of, with Primate retiring, us being fans, opening a gym, and then us going and seeing the gym and maybe trying out some wrestling training if that's possible. It kind of has a nice continuity to it.
It's a what you call like a segue in it.
Yeah, it's like it's there's a whole story there.
You should go and buy a Primate T-shirt though, because
I'm definitely going to do that.
I'm going to do that.
A Battle Arts Academy T-shirt or whatever it's called. No, I think Battle Arts Academy is that not Santino Morella's one in America.
I don't know.
Something like that.
I'm
But
buy
yeah,
a T-shirt though because they're cool.
Memories of the Primate. Wrestling Liam Slater in December outside, freezing cold.
Mm-hmm.
Flying all over the place. Liam Slater taking the bump into the guardrail.
I think Primate's been at every single local wrestling show I've ever been to.
You've seen him at Defiant.
Mm-hmm.
I've got his last match, like, because he wrestled that Progress at the Dome that I haven't watched yet.
I've seen him at one that I went to with Jake once as well, that you couldn't come to. I can't remember which one it was though. I've definitely seen him again though. I've seen him loads of times. Every single local show you go to, he's been there. And he's one of them ones that you always know, you know what I mean? Because sometimes some guys will show up that like you've never really heard of, so he's like a continuous face that's always been there, and it's a shame. It's really a shame for him. And I think WWE. I read an article in the Chronicle, and he been for a couple of tryouts at in Orlando with NXT, and apparently William Regal told him on his last one that he just needs to keep doing what he's doing, and he felt like he was just about to break in over there, but this happened, so it must be really hard for him.
Can you imagine him on 205 Live?
No, it'd be mint on anything.
As that gimmick though.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we shouldn't talk like that because that's
not going to happen, and it's just a shame. Gutted for him. But buy a T-shirt because I'm gonna. They're only £15. Cheapest chips. They're all my thoughts. All of them.
So
rattled through them.
As I said, we went at Defiant.
We did, it was quite a nice surprise.
Fraser couldn't go, so thanks very much, Jimmy Havoc. An absolute gent. Had a nice chat with him before the show.
Yeah.
He got us tickets because he's a friend of our WrestleFriends podcast alumni, Fraser, who will be back soon, folks. Probably next week. What was I saying? Yeah, put his back out, Fraser, so couldn't go.
Squashing.
Bless you, Fraser. Yeah, squashing. So
it's a dangerous sport.
So
see, that's the thing. If you can get injured that bad playing squash, how messed up am I gonna get being a wrestler?
Yeah.
Squash is dangerous.
It would give stuff. If we did a little bit of wrestling training and then talk about it on the podcast, it would be. I think people would find it interesting.
I'm probably gonna do it anyway because I like wrestling.
So we went there, but we can't talk about results because the way they record their shows is they record them and they don't put them out for a bit. So
they've asked us not to.
So they asked you not to. But the first match was Walter versus David Starr. David Starr's never beat Walter. You'll have to tune in to find out. As we talked about previously on the last episode, Walter may usurp Pete Dunne as my favourite wrestler soon.
Yeah, got good moves.
He's like...
Yeah. He seemed like a nice guy.
He seemed like to be a very nice...
Like a gentle giant
sort of
guy.
Yeah. But he hits... like his chops, like you don't feel... like the way it sounds to me is that you don't feel it in the skin. It's like...
In the bones.
In the bones.
Like the rattle.
Yeah. Like, I'd not want to take... But, like, I think... I can't really say much about it, but it was David
really
Starr gave as much... for a little guy, gave as much as he got.
I think you can say it was really hard hitting because, obvious, it's Walter, isn't it? But, yeah, it was good.
David Starr gave as good as he got. Travis Banks was on commentary. This was a number one contendership for his Internet Championship. I'm excited about what the outcome was, and I'll be excited to see the match. The next match was Drake, so they don't say the HT in Defiant. Don't know why.
Don't know.
Drake versus Amir Jordan. Drake plays a massive heel in Defiant, which I quite liked.
Yeah.
They've obviously done some sort of storyline with Roxy in Defiant.
Yeah, when I seen them last time at Defiant, they were tag teaming together against Jay Lethal and that other woman who was on later on. I can't remember her name. So yeah, they must have been together.
Next was Gabriel Kidd beats down Prince Amin. I've never seen Gabriel Kidd before. Really enjoyed him.
Wasn't it?
I really enjoyed his character throughout the evening. Massive heel. Found out he's only 20, so he was
getting real heat off the crowd as well. I noticed a lot of people like giving him some real boozies.
It's probably the best beatdown I've seen at a live event.
Let's not talk too much though.
No, but
I feel like we're gonna drop.
No, we've not. We've
done a sneaky.
We've not
well.
talked about. The next match was, if you remember this one, the professional Nathan Cruz versus Justin Hammer Sizem.
Oh my god. Not the Hammer.
So the Hammer is like, if you could put a wrestler together for a 4-year-old to enjoy.
He was like a really bad Thor.
Like, yeah, he had like dubstep Thor music for his entrance. You had a cape.
Like Thor.
You had a cape, but with no like. This is funny. I've got a cape. Like the Hurricane. You had a cape. You just had a cape.
He did have a cape and Thor music, and he calls himself the Hammer. So I'm presuming he likes Thor. But he doesn't look like Thor.
He would get massive Roman Reigns heat.
And it's like
we just like, and I think I
don't know if Hammer's ever going to listen to this, and he probably won't. But he wasn't my favourite thing.
No, we had this conversation. Like, if you're gonna be like, for us to like you as a heel, you have to be an amazing wrestler or a beast. You have to be like Rampage or or you have to be like a Daniel Bryan. You have to be an amazing wrestler. Like, I think this. I did a little bit of research on the Hammer, and he wrestles a lot at like Butlins.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, they probably love him there.
So I think that's kind of where the act. You can tell very much it was like young kids kind of.
Oh well.
But I think there's a place for that kind of guy in wrestling because we're gonna boo him.
Yeah, good for him.
And shout things at him.
If he likes Butlins, then that's cool. Butlins is a good place for like wearing capes and that.
Yeah. Nathan Cruz was good as usual. I wish he wasn't wrestling
Hammer.
The Hammer.
Hammer time.
But I've got a feeling we might see more of the Hammer.
Well, I hope so. And I hope so in a way that I like to see him get beaten.
He's like our heels.
Yeah, I think it'll be funny.
Even we need heels.
I hope he shows up at lots of things so I can boo him.
No Fun Done versus Chris Brooks, your best mate.
God, yeah, boo.
Was the next match. Nice to see. I'd never seen Chris Brooks live before. He's wrestling. He's probably going to be in the North Wrestling's main event for their next show, so that's going to be exciting. Part of CCK. And you had Gabriel Kidd, Martin Kirby. I actually really enjoyed watching Gabriel. I thought he was a really good wrestler, as well as enjoying his general heel.
Yeah, he's good.
I feel the same way about Martin Kirby that I do about the Hammer.
I told you about him, didn't I? I wasn't a big fan. Yeah.
It was just like white meat, fist pumping, had pink tights on. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Kind of Martin Kirby.
And I think he tried to be like the computer game Kirby, which I don't like because I like Kirby.
I hope that's not the
connection.
Don't
like him.
I hope that's not the connection.
The pink duds. I know, Kirby.
Has he
the computer game sort of music. It's gotta be.
I hope not, because that's shit.
It's proper shit.
Next was Rampage Brown versus El Ligero.
Was this match advertised? Was it?
Wasn't advertised, but it's advertised on the website, so I think we can say it is a match that happened. Right. Really good. Rampage beating on him.
I like Rampage
because he's a beast rather than a puff.
I like El Ligero as well.
And then he used that word Puff. I'm gonna just say puff. Bad word. Don't use it. Don't use that word ever. Cutting that out.
I like El Ligero because he doesn't really say much, but he's still like a really good heel.
Yeah, he's another one that like you see this kind of quite often. In North, he's a face, and then he's a heel at Defiant. And that's the same city, the same as Drake.
Yeah, but he's in.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about that?
Not bothered. It's a bit tricky because sometimes you go into boo him and you realise you've got to cheer him, I suppose. He doesn't really come to North often though, does he?
He's been there a couple of times. Next is Millie McKenzie, Defiant Women's Champion versus Kaylee Ray. This was an absolute boomer of a match. Even for someone who's not a fan of women's wrestling, Dave, you must have enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it was good.
There was reverse Ranas, there was Canadian Destroyers.
There was a lot of like cringe moments though, where you thought they could really hurt themselves, didn't you? Like, when you pull that face. like them reverse Hurricane Rana, I think we had a full on discussion about how they're
It's
really
scary to watch.
There was a few moments like that in that match.
But it was great. Watch it. You'll enjoy it. And the main event was Aussie Open, who are the champions, who must have a really long working visa, because they've been everywhere.
They're not advertised for much coming up though. Maybe it's
going back to Australia.
I bet they can make much more money here though than they can in Australia.
I wouldn't be surprised whether in a couple of months they were back on another tour. I don't know what the legalities are over it. No. But they've become one of the biggest things in independent wrestling over here.
They might have just had like a 6-month working visa.
So yeah, they're the champions versus Havoc and Haskins versus Joe Coffey and BT Gunn. So Jimmy Havoc and Mark Haskins.
Mark Haskins has got a cool T-shirt that I would like to purchase.
I'd imagine you'd like him as a wrestling guy. You know, he kind of reminds us of like a character from Sons of Anarchy or something.
Yeah, that's what I liked about him.
I thought you would like him.
And that's kind of like why I like him. And I like these cool sort of Sons of Anarchy-esque T-shirts.
He's very like intense, isn't he? Like you like paces.
Good partner for Jimmy Havoc.
They're different enough that it's interesting.
I'm scared to talk because I feel like I'm gonna there's things that keep coming out of my mouth though, and then I have to stop myself.
It was cool. Joe Coffey and BT Gunn are the representatives from ICW. Lots of chairs are thrown.
There was loads of chairs thrown.
And one thing I'd say about
throughout Defiant the whole night, lots of chairs got thrown.
That's always a good thing.
Chair throwing.
One thing I'll say about this show for fans of Stop Stop No No Man.
Yeah.
There was some amazing stop no action.
Classic.
Some of those guys got a right pasting just for doing their jobs.
I think I've seen there was more stop no moments that night than has been in WWE all year.
What I particularly enjoyed is whenever there was a stop no moment, me and Dave were cheering and like nobody else was like, well, like what are you doing? And it's like, it's fucking stop no. So yeah, watch that show just purely for the stop no nos and Walter and other things.
It was good.
Definitely going to the next one.
Yeah, it's a Rumble, the next one, Royal Rumble thing.
I would imagine there'll be a few surprises.
Austin Aries versus Rampage as well.
Yeah, but I don't know if they've announced that yet.
They have.
That's okay then. So North Wrestling 10, a new era, is shaping up nicely on May the 12th. We've got Chris Brooks announced. We've got Dave's best mate, Chief Deputy Dunn, announced.
Do you think this whole new era thing is like they're gonna turn into like Raji, Smashy?
I don't think it's gonna be a deathmatch promotion.
No, I hope not.
But I think they'll always have a hardcore match in there somewhere.
I like a hardcore match, but you know how I feel about deathmatch.
I don't think it'll be a deathmatch. I think it'll be a hardcore match. So yeah, you've got Dave's best mate, Chief Deputy Dunn, and then you've got the tag team match of Chris Renfrew, Mikey Whiplash versus Drew Parker and Clint Margera. Like you said, all deathmatch guys. But I just think it'll be like a hardcore brawl. Perfect place to have it because they always have that outside of the building brawl, which they didn't have on the last show. So it'll be cool to like bring that back. And Drew Parker was the guy that Spike Trevor was wrestling when they went through the mirror, and Spike Trevor got the bit of the mirror stuck in his leg that he's still injured from. He had to like cancel loads of appearances because of it.
Deary me.
But he'll be back soon. Hopefully at North. So we can see.
No, they're not going to announce everyone though, either for the.
I think they're going to announce all wrestlers, but not all matches. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Shame we couldn't like give away who won the matches and stuff like that.
No, but I still think we made it sound like an exciting show by saying who was on it.
You've got a new feature, haven't you?
We're going to the new feature.
Have you got a jingle for it?
I can try. Mark's Charity Shop Wrestling, good times. So I noticed like on the last episode when I did like charity shop pickups, we just read out the matches that were on it. It led to quite interesting conversation. We talked about JBL punching the Blue Meanie. That was quite funny. So like I thought like if I just, because I go to charity shops most days, to be honest, of my life, and I always have, every time I record I've always picked up a couple of things. So I thought if we talk about them, it might bring up random conversations.
Has the network not sort of like spoiled your fun?
No, I like to own. So once I rip these to my computer and I put the disc away in in one of my disc wallet areas of the house, it's mine forever.
Yeah. Network sort of like spoiled that for me.
I like just having them.
Mm.
Like, say I've ripped...
Not to give any spoilers away on the one you've got there, but I watched that not long ago.
Nice.
It's on the network.
And then what's good about this, if anyone hears a match, then they think, oh, that's interesting. They can watch it on the network. They can watch it on the network.
Yeah, $9.99.
Or they can ask me, and I can lend it to them, because they'll probably know us.
Probably, because no strangers listen to it.
What was I saying? Yeah, so say I rip the show on my hard drive, and I put it on my phone, and there's no internet somewhere, I can watch wrestling. You can't.
Well, where would I be where I would need to do that?
You've got.
You would probably be there, so I would be able to watch wrestling.
Right, okay. So, my first pickup was SummerSlam 2009.
I like this one.
I got this for 50 pence.
Bargain.
Here are some of the matches. Well, all of the matches. I'm not going to miss any out. You had a WWE Championship match. Randy Orton versus John Cena. Nobody cares about that.
Nope.
You've seen it 400 times. We had, more interestingly, tables, ladders and chairs for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk. I would say that was the match that put both of them on the map as superstars.
Was that the one? That was the one before he left, though, wasn't it? Jeff left after that match.
Not sure.
I think he did. I really do. I'm sure he cut a promo on Raw the next night, and it was him done.
Right.
That was the one where he disappeared at the end, and the Undertaker appeared, wasn't it?
Yes. Because the Undertaker was the next challenger for CM Punk.
And then they had that amazing feud, didn't they? That Undertaker CM Punk feud that was really good.
It was, yeah, that was really good actually.
And it was around about the time where Paul Heyman was.
Because you forget that CM Punk's feuded with him twice, because he feuded with him. This wasn't part of that feud.
Was it not?
Nah, this is a different feud, but he did wrestle the Undertaker
confusing me
after
feuds,
this.
but that was the point where CM Punk was with Heyman, wasn't it?
He wasn't with Heyman at this point.
No. Alright. Silly me.
I
So
might
is
be
that
wrong.
not the one where at the end? Am I thinking of a total different time? No, it was. It was the one where Jeff Hardy disappeared and Undertaker was in the ring when he was standing over him with a belt on it.
Yeah, but Undertaker wrestled him twice. He wrestled him in this feud,
and
then because I'm sure he took the belt off him here, and then he wrestled him when CM Punk was with Paul Heyman guy at WrestleMania.
When he had the belt for like ever.
No, he had lost the belt.
Right.
That wasn't for the belt. It was after. It was after that. So there was a big gap between the two feuds.
Right. Cool.
Um,
Still though, I enjoyed it when he disappeared at the end and Undertaker was there. It was good.
Because the Undertaker got the belt off CM Punk, and then wrestled him at one of the other DVDs that I picked up.
Cool.
I think. So you got ECW Championship match, Christian versus William Regal. Remember when they had that weird ECW belt?
The black one.
This would have been the last one, the black one.
So this is where ECW sort of wasn't ECW anymore, wasn't it?
It was that hour-long program where
it was like, kind of NXT, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but much less good. More like Velocity.
Yeah, rubbish.
Good match though. Christian versus William Regal.
Yeah, it was good that they had another like, because it was a time where there was lots of because obviously they purchased WCW, ECW. They had all their like talent, didn't they? And they needed something else to put them on because there was too many people. So I suppose it was good in that respect. Plus it had like John Morrison and The Miz, and that was funny.
And they had their mad talk show online and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people got. I mean, people bag on Australian, like take the mick out of that ECW show, but it did give Sheamus a start. He started on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought he came in against Triple H.
It was after the ECW run. I
it?
might be wrong, but I'm sure I've got a memory of that. So next was D-Generation X, Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Legacy, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. This was when they were pushing like Ted DiBiase and Cody as like a big thing. I'm sure they actually got the win here.
No, they didn't.
Did they get the win? And they had like a falls count anyway, didn't they?
I think they had a series of matches. Didn't they have one in a Hell in a Cell or something as well? That was Big Show, wasn't it?
It was Big Show and Shane and
Vince versus DX.
But
this was the one where they came in on a cannon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good entrance. I always enjoyed the DX entrance. Didn't enjoy this DX run very much. because they were in a PG era. I don't think DX worked very well.
No.
And they were both. I think they were doing. Was this DX's last run before Shawn Michaels retired? I think they were just doing it as like a cash in for Shawn Michaels, weren't they? Before he
Shawn
retired?
Michaels had then had like this was the last one. Then had solo stuff, and they'd occasionally like have
Get back
DX
together
for a night, but not like this was a run of DX.
Yeah.
Because then they went on to like the Spirit Squad stuff and the Vince and Shane stuff.
Do like DX, but I don't think it worked very well when they got older. Still though, it's nostalgic, isn't it?
It is, always. Next was the Unified WWE Tag Team Championship match. Chris Jericho and Big Show versus Crime Time.
Jericho.
I'm sure Chris Jericho said that he was his favourite partner ever.
I think Big Show would be good crack.
As a guy?
As a guy.
Yeah, he seems quite fun.
I would like to be Big Show's friend.
I'm sure like Gallows and Anderson were saying like on one of the podcasts, I forget which one, like Big Show came up to them on the first day at the start and said, I'm riding with you guys. Just purely based on their like
funniness.
On their and their like reputation.
And bands. I reckon Big Show could tell a tale or two.
Yeah. He's been around since like you forget his first ever feud was against Hogan. And then he was like he was one of the first ones to come over to start off the Attitude Era in WWE.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I remember it well when he came out from under the ring.
Chucked him through the cage.
I
like when I have a go at him, I'm not having a go at him because I like hate his career or anything. I just want. I think the wrestling needs new stars.
I think a lot of people like, especially when he first came to WWE, off the back of the stuff he was doing in WCW, because he was a big name. The Giant was a big name in WCW, and then he came to WWE, and he kind of got lost in the mix with the whole
all
corporation
the
and stuff like that, and he was like. And I suppose in that respect, when he first came, he was a bit of a flop, bit of a stalemate.
He was. Apparently, Vince kept telling him I need you to be the monster.
And he just sort of like, but surely that's down to Vince. It's not.
I think a lot of it's weight issues and fitness. And
he did put a lot of weight on, and like, I don't know. Over the years, it just got a bit boring, didn't it? Like he wasn't the monster.
Ended up in that amazing feud with the Boss Man. When the Boss Man nicked his dad's coffin and that.
Yeah. But then, like, look at him now. He's in the best shape of his career now.
Crime Time thoughts?
Crime Time.
The most racist gimmick ever. Another two black guys. Just make them
make them thieves. They were funny. They were funny guys. I've heard one
JTG pops up every now and then.
He's on a podcast or two, isn't he?
Selling a book.
I think he's like into fitness training and stuff like that now, isn't he?
I'm sure I've seen Instagram pictures of him and he's an absolute
You know
machine.
When they split them up that was going to be it though, didn't you?
He stayed employed for years. He only got released a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember on one of the podcasts he said they weren't allowed to do anything because he was still employed. So good on him, getting paid for now.
I was going to sit down a paycheck. Next you had Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. Nah.
Great Khali with Ranjin Singh versus Kane.
Yeah.
Probably would have been awful.
Probably missable.
MVP versus Jack Swagger.
MVP was quite funny.
I always liked MVP. I thought he could have been something a lot bigger than he was. Good
Jack
wrestler.
Swagger. I hate Jack Swagger. Hate's a strong word, isn't it?
I think his post-WWE career has not been setting the world on fire.
No, I think he took 5-star wrestling down. Never to return.
I don't hear of him getting... You know how they're having these millions of shows on on WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans. Have you heard his name mentioned? A Progress trying to book him.
No.
A CZW trying to book him.
No. I bet he's a right tosser as well. Is that harsh to say? Dude, I bet he's a proper diva.
I just think post WWE, if you're a big name and you've been, what's the word I'm looking for, humble in your reintegration to indie wrestling, you've been booked on this weekend somewhere.
Maybe
in a big
he's
match.
not like, because he was brought in by WWE and he probably went through their system. Maybe he's been a bit of a dick about indie wrestling. Maybe he looks down on it a bit. I don't know. I'm just throwing wild accusations out there.
I would have thought he would have been booked on a big show. Like, you would think if he had been like Swagger versus Walter could have been really cool.
Yeah.
But nobody.
I don't know. Would you get excited about Jack Swagger being at an indie event? Would you get excited about
booked
him?
correctly, I would. Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
I've never liked him that
I'd
much.
like to see how he would mesh with like the indie style.
I sometimes find it hard to believe he was ever world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, that was weird. That was probably not long after this or before it.
He won the Money in the Bank, didn't he? And they cashed that in successfully.
Interesting. So this is the next one is Survivor Series 2009.
Survivor Series.
So we're after this.
What?
Well, it must be
still
because
2009.
Pardon?
Yeah.
So 2009.
Yeah, so that'll be after it, won't it?
So you've got a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. I remember doing this. So it was John Cena versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels. So Triple H and Shawn Michaels in DX, but wrestling
Yeah, I remember
against
that.
each other. You've got triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Undertaker versus Big Show and Jericho. So Jericho must have broken up. And then you've got Undertaker beat CM Punk between these shows. Both of those decent sounding matches. See, a lot of this, it's like wrestling's so big that you can't remember everything that's happened. So a lot of this, when I pick them up, it kind of like
You remember the things happening, like Jericho and stuff like that, but you don't remember.
the specifics.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with wrestling, when you've got hundreds of hours a week, you just
Like,
it
I
just
remember
goes.
the DX thing where they had to face each other in that match, but I don't remember what happened.
You've got the next was a traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Kofi Kingston, MVP, Mark Henry, Christian, and R-Truth versus Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, CM Punk, and William Regal. So this shows CM Punk's fall down the card from SummerSlam to here. Then you've got another one. It was John Morrison, Matt Hardy, Finlay, and Evan Bourne and Shelton Benjamin. So Evan Bourne was Matt Seidel's name. Versus The Miz, Drew McIntyre, Jack Swagger, Sheamus, and Dolph Ziggler. And then you've got another one. Mickey James, Melina, Kelly, Gail Kim, Eva Torres versus Michelle McCool, Beth Phoenix, Alicia Fox, Layla, and Jillian Hall. Bet you that was brilliant. Shows how long Alicia Fox has been employed as well.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I'm not. I think I've talked about Survivor Series, not
The concept of Survivor Series.
and not really being my favourite pay-per-view of the year. I don't like this. I'm not.
But now they only have one. They have one of them, and that's it.
And that's fair enough.
And it's not the main guys usually either.
My favourite Survivor Series ever was the one where they had none, and they done the Deadly Game tournament.
We've talked about this
We've
before.
talked about that
bring
as
back
well.
bring back the Deadly Game and actually call it the Deadly Game.
Yeah.
And have like the theme song, which was the Deadly Game.
Game.
I keep meaning to go back and watch that. You did not
I
long after we
watched
were talking
it,
about it.
yeah. I tried to get Jake to watch it as well, but it got a bit late and he had to go to bed, and I didn't watch the whole thing. So I am going to watch it.
It was one of the best things ever, where you started off Mankind thinking he was the one Vince's pick, and his first match was against Gilbert, and Gilbert was scared of his own pyro.
Yeah, and you had loads of mad people in it, like Al Snow, and like William Regal was Steven Regal, and he was like the real man's man.
I'm going to watch it again. I
I
might watch it this weekend.
It's
no,
good.
I'm not going to watch it this weekend because we've got a bit.
If I was you, what I would do is I would watch it before the WrestleMania weekend sort of kicks in. Maybe we could have it on at WrestleMania party in the background for people to watch.
Yeah, I kind of want to show people progress though,
Okay.
because they've seen WWE.
I wonder if we can get our hands on that Ring of Honor show.
When is it?
It's a Saturday.
I'll get me hands on it, but it'll not be through legitimate means. But if you don't mind about that.
Is that the end of your charity shop segment?
No.
No.
Final match on that was Rey Mysterio versus Batista. That was some of Batista's best stuff when they were partners.
They were pals, weren't they? And then he turned on him.
Just horrendously beat him down. That was some of heel Batista. Perfect.
I've heard he's coming back. I'd like to see him do one last run because
could he do a cheeky at WrestleMania? Do you think?
He could. Maybe he's in the Battle Royal. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's so many names you could throw. Apparently that Battle Royal is going to be bigger this year than it ever has been because of the Andre the Giant documentary. So maybe we'll get some really big names in it. And
I'll not go through all of them because I also got this for 50p. SummerSlam 2011.
Right.
So it was John Cena and CM Punk. It was when CM Punk went away, then came back. John Cena had won the championship in the meantime, so it was like who gets the belt out of the two kind of match. And Triple H was the guest referee to oversee it.
Right. Remember that? Yeah, I remember that.
You had the blow off for Chrissy and Randy Orton, which was really good.
Was
And
that when they were doing the rated RKO thing, or was that?
No, that was Edge was gone, and it was Christian's only runners champ.
Oh yeah, that was when he just came back from TNA, wasn't it?
Yeah. No.
I'm
This
just
was
making
ages after that.
things up on
That was ages after that. And this one is sealed, and I already have it. So there you go.
What's happening?
You can have it.
Really?
I already have it.
Did you purchase this to give to me?
I couldn't remember whether I had it or not,
But now you do know.
but I definitely do have it. I've already got it on my computer,
Nice one.
so you can have it.
Give it to Jake
And
to watch.
it's sealed.
Cool. So now I can be one of them guys who has it on the network, and
One of them.
now I've got it in my hand as well.
Now you can be one of them cool guys.
Cool guys who has physical copies of things. I can't remember what happens in that Cena CM Punk match, so I'm going to watch it.
Do you want us to give you spoilers, or
Nah,
you're gonna watch it?
surprises. That's an era of WWE I might revisit. 2011.
That's not the one that you should watch. It's the Money in the Bank one where you weren't sure whether CM Punk was leaving or not.
I've seen that one. I remember
That is
one.
amazing. That one's
Still though,
good, but it's still good.
It's an era of wrestling that
The CM Punk era.
by reading the back of this,
Guys.
I've forgotten a lot about because
Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler's on it again.
Yeah.
He must have had a load of matches.
I'll watch that. Is that the end of your charity shop segment? Thanks
Yeah.
for the DVD, by the way. Very nice. I've got a wrestle poem this week. You haven't got one again here.
I haven't. No, I think
I'm just going to leave these to me.
now that I'm going to do charity shop time.
Charity shop. Mark's charity shop. Dave's poem.
Dave's poem.
This one's called Bong? ?
Who's this going to be about?
Bong. Taker is coming? ? Bong. Dead man is on his way? ? Bong. Possibly American Badass? ? Bong. A killer entrance? ? Bong. Taker versus Cena? ? Bong. A WrestleMania Classic? ? Bong. Maybe? ? Bong. All will be revealed? ? Bong. 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 ? Felt a bit like Big Ben there.
It was amazing.
I felt very Big Benny there.
I liked it because you shouted bong. Do you think it's going to go like the bong is going to start and then it's going to change to American Badass music?
How are they going to do it though?
Do you know what's going to be disappointing?
Because John Cena said he's going to watch it as a fan, right? So is he going to be like in the crowd watching it, and then like, you're going to hear the bong, and he's going to come out the crowd Roman Reigns style, or is like?
I think he's going to do an in-ring thing because he's John Cena, he would be allowed
to cut a promo.
I think they'd have him cut a promo anyway, or maybe he could cut a promo like be the host, kind of like, and then it's. But like, do you think they'll start with the bongs and then the American Bad Mask? The American Bad Mask.
Bad Mass?
Bad Mass? Oh, it was Bad Mass. Clergyman wasn't very good. Do you think it's so exciting?
I know.
Do you know what I'd be really disappointed with? Two scenarios. Nothing happens, or the dead man turns up. Both of them, nah.
It was a bit messy having the dead man at Raw 25 if they're going to then turn him into the American Badass for no reason. That was messy.
I think it would have been fine if they hadn't completely fucked up all of Raw 25 anyway, because it made it seem anticlimactic because they'd done a bad job.
Raw 25 was bad, wasn't it? But yeah, I don't know. We've already talked about this in a previous podcast, so I don't want to go too much into it.
Next time you hear us, we'll be giving you our thoughts.
All will be revealed? ? Maybe it will. Maybe it won't.
Bong.
Bong.
Thanks for listening.
Tra.